Thanks, and thanks for this opportunity. We've had a lot of discussions so far about things relating to the Internet. I'd like to take a little bit of a 10,000-foot view at this and talk about something a little bit broader, and that's what I call the universal gaming experience. Now, by universal, I certainly don't mean the world game or something like that, but I mean something that is in close proximity, something that's present or occurring everywhere within the gaming jurisdiction, something that's comprehensively broad and versatile, and something that we can adapt or adjust to fit the needs and requirements of our industry. Certainly, I think that customer proximity and solution elasticity are the key drivers of a universal gaming experience. And I think what lotteries need to do today is to adapt their strategy to be able to react to the market very quickly by adopting their technological infrastructures in a manner that can be done efficiently and seamlessly to integrate the new and exciting marketing channels and content that we have available to us. We need to provide consumers with what they want, where they want it, and when they want it, and we need to make sure that as we do this, we take advantage of the opportunity to be able to study their behavior and understand their preferences and proactively react and predict what they're going to want next. Again, the gaming experience is just terrific that we have available, particularly after the DOJ opinion in December. I think more than ever, we have changes in what we experience in every aspect of gaming. From the games themselves, Moti talked about a number of different things. We have a number of different games we can offer to the playing public. We have a number of different ways to distribute those games. We have a number of different touch points that consumers interact with, and we give them a full, fun, integrated experience to the player. Now, just a little bit about the players. We have and hopefully want to attract and gain new players. Players nowadays are quite a bit different than they used to be. We're all familiar with baby boomers and Generation X and Generation Y, otherwise known as the millennial generation. And now we're getting into Generation Z, born between 1990 and 2010. Generation Z are digital natives. They're characterized as tech-savvy, globally connected in a virtual world, and flexible and I think smarter than previous generations. The next generation coming along, which we don't have to worry about quite yet, but as we plan, we need to start considering them in the next few years, is Generation Alpha. Generation Alpha is expected to be more tech-savvy, expected to be more educated, and also, by all indications, they will be more materialistic. Okay. Right now, worldwide, there's over 1 billion gamers, 187 million of them in North America alone. 72% of American households played games on the internet in 2011. That number increased by 241% from 2008 to 2011. So a significant jump, and that's even expected to jump more. Okay? According to recent studies, the average game player, believe it or not, is 37 years old. 1 out of 4, or about 29% of them, are over 50. That's up from 9% in 1999. According to another recent study, women are in the majority in these gamers, about 55%. Women are also more avid gamers. Women over 37, I believe, even play more, women over 18 play more games, 37%, than actually boys under the age of 17. So women are an extremely good market to try and get involved with our product. 55% of gamers play games on their mobile phones or other handheld devices. And 50% of gamers say they started because they saw somebody else playing games or saw on some video stream or other social media site that their friends were playing. So the word of mouth on this and the viral of this is pretty incredible. The experience that we have to give these folks under the new universal gaming has to be entertaining, fun, and it has to be treated as recreation, so much more so than we've done with lottery products in the past. Games are enjoyed across a variety of networks. 83% of Facebook participants use Facebook to play games. Facebook has, if you know, has 100 billion connections with 845 million active users monthly. And if we got 83% of those playing games, that's a lot of folks. Okay. Social games are played with friends. 68% of women say they play with people they know, whereas 55% of men say they play with people they know. We have to take, in considering universal gaming, we have to bridge multiple consumer habits and get various touch points. We're all aware of these things, I believe, but the retail landscape is changing. QR codes are a little bit of a big thing now, although I don't think they'll last, but there's got to be more ways that we can interact with the brick and mortar retail channels. The gamer today plays with the desktop, a wireless user, and the gamer of the future will play on their interactive TVs. So we have to get ready for that, I think. That's a little ways away. There's 6 areas which I think we need to excel in when looking at the opportunities for universal gaming. We can start off with the brand. We have to invest in the brand to achieve awareness and promotion of our product, and I'll get more on the brand later. Invest a lot in distribution to get the customer reach, marketing for customer acquisition, operations for the customer engagement, the platform for the agility of the games, and the games themselves have to be rich in content. A number of people have said content is the king, and I think that's true. Technology and services are going to be very important in the universal gaming arena. We have to take care of the production and the distribution of games in a manner that will reach all our players. The games themselves have to be varied, and I said have to have rich content. One thing that I think about the games is in relation to what something is called the long tail effect. The theory of the long tail effect is that the culture and the economy are moving away from mainstream products. If you look at a chart, a demand chart, the high end on the left is the demand for consumer mainstream products now, and the tail dies off to get into niche products that are not necessarily on the mainstream arena. Brick and mortar retailers have to worry about shelf space. They have to worry about distribution, whereas on the internet we have decreasing costs. We don't have to worry about those types of things, and we can offer more products and more variety to our consumers. I love Alan's comment earlier about getting lottery games similar to applications, I believe, on the iPad, whereas we can get together with a number of different game-type developers and run them through a lottery system. That way we can have varied games and niche games for different people. The theory on the long tail effect is that the niche products that won't be available at the brick and mortar, although smaller individually, will make up a greater part of the consumer demand and spending in the future because they can narrow the field down and get people what they want and what individuals want. A little bit about the liquidity factor. I think there's a bit of more than confusion about that. The big guys that are fighting against us want to say you have to have large numbers for liquidity. I don't personally think that's true, and from what I've seen, it doesn't have to be true. The way people are playing games now on poker and so forth are pretty much the way they've been playing them since 2005, with perhaps the exception of a little more games applicable to micro gaming or small stakes gaming. But in order to look at liquidity, I think you have to look at, again, about players playing at the same time. That's what basically liquidity is. Okay, if I'm a player, if I can get on to a game that I want to play, a table or a tournament that I want to play, right after I log in, that's my liquidity. Okay, you don't need if you have 900 people playing, there's no difference in that than having 25,000 people playing. Again, as long as somebody can get on a table in a tournament that they want when they want to play it. So I don't think liquidity is as important of a factor as some people say. In looking at the various areas, we come to the platform. And again, I said the platform is going to be very important. We have to have a single customer view. We have to have a good payment control center. We have to do a lot of real-time analytics. And we have to be very good with loyalty management and gaming content aggregation. The things in yellow down there are other things that, if you can see it, that affect the gaming platform. We have to manage loyalty values. We have to know our customer. Again, that gets in with the real-time analytics and knowing who's playing what, when, why, and where. And one thing I will kind of disagree with Gordon on something he said this morning was he's talked about people doing systems for lotteries, not tying them in to their lottery systems. I personally believe it's important for any system that goes on the internet or mobile phones or whatever to be able to tie those systems in to our lottery systems, particularly in the loyalty and VIP club areas and things like that. We have to know our player, and we can cross-promote different products to our player if we know them. But if you have a separate system out there, you're going to only know about what they do on that part of it. Whereas if you combine the systems, you'll know what they do on all of your platforms. Okay? We have to create true customer loyalty to extend players' life cycle and maximize their lifetime value. And we have to create true entertainment experiences. We have to reward them through CRM systems, loyalty systems, and again, the real-time analytics are extremely important. In the marketing side, we're all familiar with the marketing of traditional lottery products. We have to add a number of things to that. We have to look at, when we get into the social space, we have to look at search engine optimization, search engine management, and affiliate reward and recruitment programs. I believe it's important to reward the frequency, the recency, and the gaming wallet percentage rather than the nominal value of money spent. And I think we have to manage the bonuses very intelligently. Are you telling me I'm running out of time, Paul? Okay, I'll run through this quickly. Okay, we've talked about the distribution, so I don't want to get into that again. Getting to the brand, it is a true lottery asset. We all know that. We can go in the games. We know the games have to be simple. They have to be fast. They have to hopefully associate with the player, and we have to get into the socialization. A strategy for lotteries going forward encompasses a lot of things, but again, back to the brand and the unique lottery assets, a couple things, as people said before, it's a trusted brand. People trust us. They trust the retailer network. They know it provides good causes, and they're aware of it. What better way to start an online or a universal gaming experience than to be able to have thousands of affiliate partners out there in some form or another. Okay? In getting to the new lottery landscape to extend our assets, we have to look at different things relating to the 5 areas below. Numerical games, ITV games, commercial liquidities. We have to get technology to allow the same content across multiple channels. We have to get eventually into iCloud gaming, particularly if we use multiple suppliers for game content. We have to make the experience more rich or richer for the player. Have to get in tournaments, personalized selections, combine land and new media, and the player themselves. We have to extend the younger demographics, balance the gender mix, safeguard responsible gaming, and return good causes to society. Now, that's a lot to do on the gaming universal landscape, but what can we do as a first step? I think lotteries have to get into e-lottery games. They have to get into connected liquidity. They have to get into loyalty more heavily than they are now, in subscriptions more, in group play more. They have to be on the internet and mobile where people are playing. They have to provide tournaments, chatting games, lottery, social networks, and land-based and retail programs together with loyalty, and again involve the retailer. Summing it up, here's my promotional slide of all those things relating to the games, the platform, operations, marketing, etc. We at Intralot have experience with all of those and have systems to provide all of those, so we can help you, the lotteries, beginning with the games and the platform, going on to the operations, the marketing, and the distribution. Thank you for your time. Sorry I ran over.